Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. It's kinda uncomfortable when people start seriously threatening to make sure you get fired. This person was so upset about a phone that they hope someone loses their job. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. I need a manager. I used to work in a retail location for a large cell phone provider as a store host. The store would always get extremely busy during the holiday season and the wait time could get fairly long. My job was to check customers in and have them added to the wait list and also to deal with simple questions or quick transactions. It was a particularly busy day and the wait list was an estimated 2 hours. I had a line of about 3 people waiting to be checked in, and I had a man whom we'll call John walk into the store and walk directly up to me. He immediately demanded a manager, to which I informed him that my manager was currently busy, and I could see what I could do for him. As I finished checking everyone in, he angrily stormed to the back of the line. After I finished checking the rest of the customers in, I began to talk to him. Me: Sir, what brings you into the store today? John: I want to speak to the manager. Me: Sir, my manager is currently busy, but if you tell me what's going on, I can try my best to help you. And if it's something I can't do, I'll find someone who can. John: Okay, can you help me find your manager so that I can speak to him? Me: I tell him I'll walk in back and check to see how long it'll be until a manager's available. I walk into the back of the store and grab a soda and wait a minute or two. If you've worked retail, you understand that the manager doesn't just sit in their office all day doing nothing. They are managing the store. The entire reason the other employees exist is to handle customers and their problems. I knew my manager was going to be busy for a while, but hoped that if John thought I had tried to get the manager, he might calm down a little bit. I went back and informed John. Me: Sir, my manager is currently in a meeting and he won't be free for at least an hour. If you tell me what's going on, however, I can do my best to help you out. John: Okay, let me ask you a few questions. Is there currently a manager in the store? Me: Yes, sir. As I said, he's in a meeting. John: Is it your job to help customers? Me: Yes, sir. And if you tell me what brought you in, I might be able to help you out. John: I already know that this is going to be something only a manager can deal with, so I don't want to waste my time telling you what's going on, only to have you repeat it again. Here's what I want you to do. The manager's in the back. You have legs and seem able to walk perfectly fine. You're going to walk into the back of the store and tell your manager that if he doesn't come out here right now, I'm going to start screaming and yelling and throwing a huge fit in his store. Me: I just went back and talked to my manager, and as I told you, he isn't available to help you right now. I can't check you in unless you tell me what brings you into the store, and that means that more people will keep getting checked in before you, and you might have to wait longer. I don't want to cause any problems or inconvenience you. Is your phone broken or are you having a problem with your bill? John: What's the phone number for the store? I hand the man a card for the store, thinking he's going to leave and call later. I work behind the host stand and there was a phone there for answering calls and setting up appointments. John proceeded to call the store, and policy states I had to answer the call. I couldn't just ignore it. Me: Thank you for calling the blank store in blank. My name is OP. How can I help you? John: I want to speak to a manager immediately. Me: My manager is currently busy. I can take down your name and phone number and have him give you a call when he's available. John hangs up the phone and begins yelling at me that he's the most important customer in this store and that I'm going to lose my job and he's going to make sure my manager loses his job as well. It's at this point that I have to pull my manager from his meeting because it's looking like we might have to call the police because this man would not leave the store. I pull my manager out of his meeting, which he's very unhappy about, and he heads to the front with me. John: Hi, can I speak to your manager? Manager: Yes, sir, I'm the store manager. What's going on? John: Your name tag says assistant manager. I want to speak to the manager. It's at this point that my manager explains that due to the store manager getting transferred, he has been promoted to manager but hasn't gotten a new name tag yet. This causes the man to start yelling at my manager about how he was lying to him. Manager: Sir, I can help you with absolutely anything you need in the store. I am the store manager. There's nobody above me here, and I report directly to the district manager. If you tell me what the problem is, I'll do everything I can to make sure you get taken care of." John's apparently satisfied with this answer and pulls out a phone and proceeds to show my manager how the screen is frozen. He begins a story about how he was not happy with this because the phone was less than 2 years old and how he knew only a manager could give him a free phone, etc. My manager takes the phone and proceeds to hand it to me and tells John that I'm the guy he needs to talk to. He manages the store and doesn't really deal with the phones. I reset the phone and hand it to him in 15 seconds and tell him to perform the software update when he gets home and bring the phone back in if he has any further problems. John's now very embarrassed at having caused a scene and quickly leaves the store. I tried to think of something quirky or intelligent to say, but all I can think of is, what? Seriously, what goes through people's heads when they act like that? And our second story. I can't work everywhere, can I? I've been asked questions from random patrons in completely random types of retail stores, restaurants, corporate offices that aren't mine, car dealerships, etc. You name it, I've probably been asked if I work there or asked a question by a patron assuming I work there without even thinking about it. Recently, I was in a Target store in my city just picking up some snacks for a road trip I was going on the next day. I'm wearing a blue t-shirt, joggers, and black sneakers. Thankfully, this was not a rude patron. I was approached and asked, "Excuse me, do you work here?" I asked because of the blue shirt you're wearing in Target. Completely ignoring the fact that I had a basket full of road tripping snacks, mind you. I take about 10 seconds to calmly respond with, "No, I don't work here." 10 seconds to give them a chance to think about what they just said and think about, does this make sense? I just walk away with my items awkwardly and no longer acknowledging this person in their presence. Also recently, I was walking around a department store looking through some shorts to try on. Here in this store, I'm wearing a golf shirt, shorts, and a pair of loafers. While browsing and holding a pair, I ended up trying on and buying. I hear a random, "Could you help check out so I can leave?" while being tapped on my shoulder. I take a very long stare at this man, just thinking to myself, what the hell about anything I'm wearing gives you any indication that I work here? Before simply stating that I did not work there. The immediate response from this clearly confused man is, "Well, what am I supposed to do if you don't work here and can't help me?" And I just immediately walk away, mildly annoyed at the sheer confusion of this clueless soul. At a car dealership, I had an appointment to have my car serviced for an oil change as well as a couple of maintenance-related items. I'm sitting in the waiting room while waiting on the mechanics to finish working on my car. I'm working on my work laptop while wearing a collared short-sleeve shirt that had the name of my company on it, slacks, and a pair of loafers, just completely minding my own business, getting some work done, when out of nowhere I hear what sounds like a Karen yelling, "Get me your manager!" with several footsteps approaching me and what I assume to be an employee trying to calm this person down. I try to ignore it until I feel breathing directly in my face, and this woman is standing directly over me in the chair, furious about something, of which I'm not sure. I try to ignore this woman until she yells out at me, "Are you just gonna sit there? Your employee's being extremely rude and I deserve a discount. Give it to me now." I just simply respond with, "Do I know you? I don't work here. Please leave me alone." By this point, enough employees at the dealership had come over to separate this woman from the other employee there, and I roll my eyes at her as she's escorted out of the building, and she continued to point at me and yell something. I wasn't able to make it out as it was unintelligible. This only a few of the countless occasions. I honestly mind it a lot less if the person asking happens to be polite and friendly. However, it's still fairly annoying in my view, since it just seems to be that nobody is walking through the logic of this random "somebody works here" based on their attire. None of these made sense in my view, and I understand that it's only a minor inconvenience to me, but I simply find these unsolicited asks to be irritating. And our last story. The HOA forbids me to park my old car. I'm currently renting a townhome and have been here with no problems for about 5 months. On Thursday, I received a letter from the local HOA essentially stating that we are no longer allowed to park vehicles outside if they're older than 10 years old. Non-compliance will result in a $100 fine per vehicle. Vehicles will be towed after the third violation at the owner's expense. I drive a 2001 Honda Accord and don't have a garage, so this is a bit problematic for me. I've looked over my 12-month lease agreement, and there's a fairly generic-looking clause that lists the name and address of the HOA and states, "Tenant agrees to abide by any applicable Owners Association regulations as they now exist or may be amended." I don't really feel like spending the money on a new vehicle right now when mine works just fine. I guess I could break my lease, but I'm pretty sure that has some not-so-fun credit and rental history implications. Not long after the original post, I ended up sending an email to my landlord with a copy of the letter from the HOA and explained my situation. The next day, I received a phone call from my landlord, and she said not to worry about it. According to her, despite my lease stating that the tenant agrees to abide by any applicable Owners Association regulations as they now exist or may be amended, this was a rather unreasonable demand by the HOA and isn't something that should be held against me or any other tenant she has in the neighborhood. She said she'd take care of the situation with the HOA and offered to pay any fines that resulted in the meantime. As of today, I've received another letter from the HOA that said until further notice they will not be enforcing the rule regarding parking of vehicles older than 10 years old. I haven't received any violations from the HOA up to this point and have yet to hear anything else from my landlord. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.